is Aaron Carter. I want to verify that this is actually my GoFundMe page. There's been a lot of misdirection that I've had to do in order to protect myself from being the silence breaker for my brother, who is a rapist.
Code 3 responses needed. Female adult yelling at 902A in the tub.
Aaron found unresponsive in a bathtub by his house sitter.
Right. You stood next to Biggie. You put hot on him. Now stand next to the fight if you want, right? You stood next to Mace. You stood next to Jock. Look, Puffy might be the destination for anybody going nowhere.
Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
What if I told you that Aaron Carter had plans to expose one of the biggest names in the industry before his untimely death? Shocking, right? Well, buckle up, because 50 Cent just dropped a bombshell revealing that Aaron Carter was ready to go head-to-head with Sean Combs and other elitists when he tragically lost his life. According to 50, Aaron had the receipts, the stories, and the determination to blow the lid off secrets Diddy never wanted the world to know. But here's where things get even darker. Just as Aaron was gearing up to make his move, his life was tragically cut short. Coincidence, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? Let's dive into this explosive revelation that has everyone talking. Aaron Carter's tragic death shocked fans around the world, but as more details emerge, the circumstances surrounding his passing raise unsettling questions. Officially ruled as an accident caused by drowning and the effects of substances, Aaron's story doesn't sit right with everyone. Why were the bathtub jets on if he was fully clothed? And why was a man who openly spoke about feeling unsafe left in such a vulnerable position? And these details were not mentioned in the autopsy report as one would expect. It was his former fiancée that came forward with these details that were conveniently swept under the rug. Martin at the time told TMZ that the results of the autopsy are not closure for her and said that it opened up more questions for her than answers. It claims death is by drowning, but also adds he was wearing a t-shirt and necklace in the bathtub, which doesn't make sense. Why would he be in a bathtub with clothes on? I'm still in shock and still miss Aaron every day. I don't understand the chain of events, and this report only has us asking more questions. That day, a woman described as a housekeeper visited Carter's home to offer him coffee. When there was no response, she let herself in and found him lying unresponsive in a jacuzzi-style tub with the jet still running. Paramedics pronounced him dead at the scene. Prescription bottles and cans of an electronic duster that he had used for inhaling were found by investigators.
Attention Lancaster units, code 3 responses needed. 902R 4 Valley Vista Drive. Valley Vista Drive. Female adult yelling at 902A in the tub.
Just weeks before his death, Aaron started a GoFundMe to escape to a safer location. He missed a therapy session the day he passed, and despite constant welfare checks from concerned fans, no one intervened when it truly mattered. And apparently 50 Cent now claims that Aaron had plans to expose Hollywood ST, which ultimately took him closer to his death. Honestly, given these grotesque details, it's pretty hard not to believe that Aaron's death was more than a tragic accident. Aaron Carter's untimely death has taken a shocking new turn, as his mother, Jane Carter, has publicly released photos from the scene where her son's body was discovered. The images, which she claims show signs of a potential H-side, paint a grim picture that she says law enforcement has failed to properly investigate. From a tub filled with green water, 2 suspiciously placed towels, and smeared messes on the floor, Jane insists that these details don't align with a coroner's ruling of an accidental OD. What's even more alarming is her claim that Aaron had been receiving elimination threats and living under constant fear for years.
Are you suggesting that somebody may have done him harm? Somebody who was going after him online?
Oh, absolutely.
Despite this, Jane says police dismissed her son's case, attributing it to his history of Asian and mental health struggles. They just wanted it to be something easy, she stated, criticizing authorities for allegedly overlooking crucial evidence and allowing people to tamper with the scene. Jane's accusations are serious. If you really think about it, she believes Aaron's death was not an accident, but the result of foul play, and she's demanding justice. With the support of family and friends, she's asking the public to examine the details and question why law enforcement didn't treat her son's death as the potential crime scene she believes it was. Could Aaron's cries for help and his pleas for safety have been tragically ignored? The fight for answers continues to this day. Aaron Carter's tragic history is one riddled with heartbreak, neglect, and whispers of deeper, darker truths. While his struggles with AD, mental health, and a tumultuous family life were widely known, whispers suggest that Aaron may have also been a victim of Sean Combs' alleged T-ring. These rumors, if true, paint a harrowing picture of a troubled star whose cries for help were ignored by those who should have been there to protect him. Throughout his career, Aaron was heartbreakingly open about his pain. He accused his siblings of SA, and despite these bombshell revelations, it seemed like no one stepped in to provide him with the help he so desperately needed. Instead, his trauma was met with silence, leaving him to navigate his struggles alone. Aaron's substance use reportedly began at just 16, influenced by his elder sister Leslie, who tragically passed away from a substance overdose. He admitted in a raw appearance on The Doctors that he started huffing to cope with the sadness and hurt he felt.
I was about 16. My sister Leslie, who passed away from an overdose, got me into it.
With such a fragile state of mind, it's not hard to imagine how Aaron could have fallen victim to a world far darker than the one we saw on the surface. Could his involvement in Diddy's alleged network have compounded the weight of his already overwhelming struggles? If the whispers hold any truth, they would not only shine a new light on Aaron's untimely death, but also raise chilling questions about how many other victims may be out there, silenced by fear and systemic neglect. And if, for a split second, you think Aaron Carter wasn't a victim of Diddy, chalking it all up to life simply dealing him a bad hand, think again. Let's connect the dots. Diddy has been entrenched in the party scene since the 90s, known for his wild, no-boundaries gatherings that often blurred the lines of decency. With Aaron's meteoric rise to stardom as a teen heartthrob, the likelihood of him crossing paths with Diddy behind the scenes isn't just plausible, it's almost inevitable. During Aaron's candid conversation on The Doctors, he didn't hold back in describing the torment he endured in the entertainment industry. "I've been through hell and back," he said, his voice heavy with years of pain.
I can say I've been through hell and back, and I'm back. And I'm here to stay.
And when you take a moment to consider who was the entertainment industry during Aaron's peak, Diddy. His influence loomed large. His party's infamous for luring in the young, the naive, and the vulnerable. The whispers surrounding Diddy's alleged dark dealings make it nearly impossible to ignore the connection. Aaron's struggles weren't just a product of personal hardship, they were likely compounded by the exploitative forces of an industry that thrives on consuming and discarding its brightest stars. And in Aaron's case, the shadows lead straight back to one of Hollywood's most untouchable figures. And honestly, it's not unheard of, Diddy preying on young, naive talents. Just recently, the lawsuit brought by Jane Doe details a horrifying account from the night of the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards, where an innocent attempt to join an afterparty turned into a nightmare that would haunt her for life. These allegations claim that they are not just about Diddy. It also implicates an entire ecosystem of enabling celebrities and a culture of silence that thrived in the industry. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe was only 13 years old when she claimed she was lured into an afterparty under the guise of glamour and opportunity. What followed was nothing short of harrowing. The plaintiff recounts being deed, assaulted, and left to endure unimaginable trauma as her alleged perpetrators continued to revel in their untouchable status. Combs aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." The lawsuit states, per the Post, he then allegedly threw the girl identified as Jane Doe in the court documents towards another male celebrity referred to as Celebrity A, who proceeded to remove the teen's clothing as she became more and more disoriented. Plaintiff was held down by Celebrity A, who vaginally ate her, while Combs and Celebrity B, a female, watched. After the male celebrity finished, Combs then vaginally AR'd plaintiff, while Celebrity A and Celebrity B watched. If true, these accusations point to a deeply troubling pattern of A within the entertainment industry, where the vulnerable are preyed upon, silenced with NDAs, and left to carry the weight of their pain alone. And the details don't stop with Diddy. The involvement of unnamed male and female celebrities raises chilling questions about the complicity of others in Hollywood's upper echelons. Anyway, if there's one person who's never held back when it comes to calling out Sean Diddy Combs, it's 50 Cent. And now, with Diddy's legal woes piling up faster than anyone can keep track, 50's relentless pursuit feels more like a storm that just won't let up. Let's be real, Diddy's family might be burning sage and saying prayers, but nothing seems to be stopping 50 from dragging every skeleton out of the closet. For years, 50 has been the industry's loudest whistleblower when it comes to Diddy's alleged behind-the-scenes antics. While others tiptoed around the rumors, 50 took it upon himself to say the quiet part out loud. And now the man's got a Netflix docuseries in the works. Because why settle for Instagram trolling when you can stream the tea for millions? This isn't just some headline-grabbing stunt. 50's making sure everything is put on blast, down to the details that have kept the industry buzzing for decades.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah,
I know
he did
you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before.
Speaking to People, 50 reflected on his crusade, saying, "Look, it seems like I'm doing some extremely outrageous things, but I haven't. It's really me just saying what I've been saying for 10 years. Now it's becoming more full-facing in the news with the puffy stuff. This is not my style, and I stayed away from it entirely." But 50 isn't just about exposing Diddy. He's about turning the entire narrative on its head. With legal claims of racketeering, teaking, and allegations so wild they involve enough baby oil to fill a pool, 50's taking trolling to an art form. He knows how to keep the conversation alive, and you better believe Diddy's kids are watching this saga unfold with more than a little unease. In 50's own words, "This is a story with significant human impact. It is a complex narrative spanning decades, not just the headlines or clips seen so far. We aim to ensure that individual actions do not overshadow the culture's broader contributions." Translation: 50 isn't just coming for Diddy, he's gunning for the system that's kept these alleged atrocities buried for years. And if history's taught us anything, when 50 Cent sets his sights on something, there's no stopping him. While Diddy's camp is yet to respond to these latest claims, the sheer volume of lawsuits against him signals a reckoning for the mogul and the culture that protected him. For Jane Doe, Aaron Carter, and the countless others, this is not just a fight for justice, but a demand for accountability from an industry that has ignored its darkest secrets for far too long. The beef between 50 Cent and Diddy runs deeper than just music. It's been brewing for decades, fueled by diss tracks, business rivalries, and enough shade to block out the sun. Let's take it back to the late 90s when both were climbing the hip-hop ladder. Despite moving in the same circles, 50 and Diddy were never exactly tight. In fact, 50 once ghost wrote for Diddy's 2001 track, Let's Get It, but don't get it twisted. According to 50, this was business, not friendship. In a 2024 interview with a Hollywood Reporter, 50 spilled the tea on their working relationship, saying, "I wouldn't call it a friendship because there wouldn't be disappointment between us if we didn't speak to each other. He's been able to take advantage of the business and the creatives in it. I don't have any interest in doing that." But things took a fiery turn in 2006 when 50 dropped his diss track, The Bomb, alluding to Diddy's alleged involvement in Biggie's 1997 M with the lyrics, "Who hit Biggie Smalls? We don't get 'em, they gonna ill us all." Man, Puffy know who hit that in. Diddy has always denied these claims, as well as similar accusations about Tupac's 1996 elimination, but the seeds of animosity had already been planted. Then came the vodka wars, a clash of egos served on the rocks. Diddy turned Ciroc vodka into a nightlife staple after teaming up with Diego in 2007. But by January 2024, their partnership crumbled after a messy lawsuit where Diddy accused the company of racism. Diego walked away with full ownership of Ciroc, leaving Diddy to nurse his wounds. Meanwhile, 50 entered the vodka game in 2016 with Effin' Vodka, making waves before cashing out in 2017 for a cool $60 million. But even after leaving the business, 50 couldn't resist taking shots at Diddy. During a 2018 episode of the Drink Champs podcast, 50 unleashed his signature pettiness.
Oh, it's grapes. Let's go there. It says made. We ready. It's from Holland. It's distilled 5 times. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot less sugar and it's a lot smoother than the Ciroc brand. And then later, when you have a headache because you finished your full bottle of Ciroc, your shit banging. I'll tell you. See, I told you I was better than you niggas. Right.
It's clear this feud isn't just about hip-hop. It's about power moves, old grudges, and who can throw the most savage shade. And knowing 50, he's not done yet. You see, this Netflix documentary will bring forward new statements which could help implicate Diddy in the long run. Combs and his legal team are scrambling to contain the fallout as the ST allegations against him take another dramatic turn. This time, his attorneys are asking for a gag order to stop witnesses and their lawyers from spilling any more tea to the public. In a letter to Judge Arun Subramanian, filed this past Sunday, Diddy's legal team, headed by Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Gregarios, argued that the ongoing media circus is undermining his right to a fair trial. They specifically referenced recent statements from an unnamed grand jury witness and their attorney who claimed to have video evidence of Diddy's alleged essays. The legal team called this a deluge of improper pretrial publicity that's putting the integrity of the case at risk. Translation, they're worried this case is becoming too big for the courtroom to handle, and the public is already making up its mind. The letter read, over the past several days, a grand jury witness and his attorney have given multiple interviews, including outside the courthouse immediately following his apparent grand jury testimony, making false and outrageous claims, including that the witness possesses videos of Mr. Combs involved in the essay of celebrities and minors. This isn't the first time Diddy's name has been dragged into heavy allegations, but with talk of incriminating footage, the stakes are higher than ever. His lawyers are pulling out all the stops to control the narrative. But whether the court will grant their request remains to be seen. You see, Combs isn't just facing the heat from allegations. His legal team is now in overdrive, filing motion after motion to shield him from further public scrutiny. In addition to his ongoing effort to restrict statements from witnesses and their lawyers, Diddy's attorneys are urgently pushing for a gag order, claiming it's the only way to prevent imminent harm from explosive leaks tied to the grand jury proceedings.
Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are asking a judge to place a gag order on potential witnesses and their attorneys. Combs' lawyers argue that any public statements about the case could undermine his right to a fair trial.
According to the filing, Diddy's team argues that the recent bombshells from witnesses and their legal representatives have created a media frenzy that could derail the case. The alleged revelations, especially talk of damning video evidence, are painting a picture far beyond what the courtroom should handle, and his attorneys are desperate to reel it in before the damage becomes irreversible. These stories have spread rapidly through the media and created the impression that such videos exist, which is false, and that the government is actually crediting his sensational claims, which is profoundly prejudicial. The letter states, while the witness and his attorney eagerly spread false and unchecked claims in the media, they have avoided subjecting their claims to verification through the legal process. The real question is, will a gag order change anything? With a court of public opinion already buzzing, this move might just add more fuel to the fire, raising even more eyebrows about what's happening behind the scenes. That's all for today. We hope you liked that video, and if you did, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos like this.